This time we'll call the Tuesday, October 18th, 2022 meeting of the Jackson County Board of Supervisors to order. Larry McDevitt, Mike Steinis, and myself, Jack Willie, are the supervisors. We have Lisa Smith and Bjorn Beck from the auditor's office and Wayne Goki, our administrative assistant. First item on the agenda today is to open the bids on the county farm lease.
Good morning.
Good
These
morning.
are in no order. So we'll just
So,
open.
do we want to give some of the parameters? I mean, everyone knows that it's a 3-year lease and
Yeah, go
read
ahead.
the parameters of no chisel, no moldboarding. Read all that good stuff. You read the contract and whatnot. You're familiar with it.
And
Any
clarification,
questions?
clarification on acres at all or anything like that? I know that was a question that I took. So,
Just no chisel and no moldboard, right?
That's what, it's in the agreement, yes.
Okay.
okay, so my first one here is from McDermott. Any other questions? Oh, okay.
I could pick it out here if I found it, figure where it was at, but it's online. It's in there.
It's on the last line of that.
Husbandry,
So who's the first bid from?
So the first bid this morning is from McDermott Precision Crop Solutions LLC.
Page 3. When it starts with livestock. Right about 10. Show me.
That's fine.
Okay. So this proposal is from Tyler McDermott. The bid amount per year is $102,785. The second bid this morning is from Chance Deppy. $79,870.
870.
$79,870. The third bid this morning was from Dale Holgraver. His bid is for $120,500. The fourth bid is from Anthony J. Rice for $80,000 even. The last bid this morning is from Joey Beach Jr. is for $70,000 even.
so. I did get a message from one of the bidders that he's having some issues getting here.
With his bid, you mean, or
No, to
his
be,
bid's
to
here?
be present. His bid is here.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to give anybody any time or what the situation calls for. I mean, I know there's things that happen,
It says there's more coming. Maybe that's what we're waiting for.
Two what? Two
Well,
bids?
the bids had to be in by now, but
Had to be in by quarter
But
to
if,
9.
but if he's one of the bidders, he can come in. Correct?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. The bid was here before 8:45. That was the. Good morning.
How are you? Warren.
So,
You want to fill him in?
So just so whoever entered the room, we have opened all 5 bids. Joey Beach Junior, his bid was for 70,000. Anthony J. Rice, his bid was for 80,000. Dale Holgraver, his bid was for 120,500. Chance Deppie, his bid was for $79,870. Tyler McDermott, his bid was $102,785. So these are the bids that we've received so far, or as of, that's all we will receive, I guess.
Mhm. Any questions from any of the board members?
No.
Any comments from any of the bidders?
When can you raise your bid right now, or be waiting on
Yeah.
that? That raises 125,000.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Anthony J. Rice.
Okay. And you are now bidding 125,000.
130,000.
135.
Wait a minute.
Okay,
Whoop, stop. Who's 130?
Me,
Dale?
140,
and who was that?
Dale Graver.
Okay, Dale.
Are you guys gonna do a recess?
So I guess with this being said, we almost need a verification of some kind of funding, correct? I mean,
We should have that done a long
was in
time
our
ago.
bid. I'm sorry,
Should have had that done a long time ago.
was that in our bid RFP? No.
Well, I think we can take all the bids today, and if the funding isn't there for the top bidder, we'll just go back to the next. Does that work? Is that how you do that?
No, I mean, I don't know if that's fair if the second highest bidder, I mean, I think you'd have to rebid, wouldn't you?
I guess that's a legal question.
Yeah.
Jackson County Supervisors,
Are you guys gonna do a recess or not?
we'd have to call the treasurer.
We can recess.
Their number is
140,000, where's that?
Yeah.
That's the last bid, yes.
Okay. Was good.
Why don't we recess while the county engineer does his business and then you can come back in?
Yep, sounds good. Thank you.
And did you call Sarah?
I did not.
Yes.
You called Sarah down?
Let's call
Yes,
Sarah.
please.
So we're still in open session.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Sarah. We had a little snake.
No, we haven't recessed yet. We are still in open session.
Yeah.
They're going
That
to
was a-
recess.
that
We're
was a
not.
suggestion.
I get
Sounds like a good time to sell the farm. Supervisor.
I know a guy that can do that.
I'll buy her.
Hi, you can come over. We're gonna do you while you're recessing to discuss bids. Okay.
We could do that in the same room.
Well, I think they're doing it in the hall. This time we're being joined by Todd Kinney, our Jackson County engineer. Good morning.
Morning.
Right.
Okay, first item is driveway for Steve Manning on 200th Avenue. It's the only thing, I guess, unusual about it is the site distance from the north was below where we would want to have it without signage. But in this case, it's a dead end. So you're coming from people's houses that live there that are one of the driveways coming to the south. That's the limited site distance. So I was talking to Roger about it. I don't see any issue with just approving it as is. So
Is this farm or residential?
it's Class D residential.
Residential. Can recommend.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
With a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Yeah, it's the only thing
You rent more farms then?
we could
There is a
do.
way, if you lower the speed limit.
Yeah, or you could have put up a driveway sign, but these are the people that would see that, are people who live back there, basically, so. The next item is utility permit for Windstream on Mill Creek, where they got a mill under Mill Creek and then under the creek at the Bellevue 0782 bridge, so it's under the road and then under the creek. It's to reconnect, it's about 400 feet long, so.
Motion to approve.
That's just all directional bore.
Yep, directional bore.
I would second.
A motion and a second to approve the utility permit for Windstream. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Okay, so quick update on the South Main Bridge, everybody's favorite. Supposed to mill in, they're doing milled in white edge lines, they're supposed to get that milling done tomorrow. And then paint all the traffic line painting on Thursday. And then if all goes well, no breakdowns or anything, they should pull the traffic control and open it up on Thursday, hopefully if not Thursday, Friday.
How far ahead of schedule are they?
Not much. They got a few working days left, but it's not much.
Oh, okay.
So. And then the 475th Avenue Bridge. They're gonna pour the other rail today. It's a Jersey rail, it's not open rail. Then they'll have a little bit of grading left. So I think probably by the end of next week, that bridge could potentially be done as well.
Good.
That's a 70-foot slab bridge. And then Schrader Construction is gonna be starting this week, this Thursday, they're gonna be starting the Farmer Creek Bridge 1265, that's 175th Street, Prescott. So that'll be closed this Thursday.
Where is it?
That's where you live? Oh, 175th Street. It'd be section 12 of Farmers Creek.
About, can you tell me where that's at?
No, but I have a map in my.
Not familiar, it's right there.
Has this got the sections on here?
Bridges are actually all marked there.
I could bridge it over.
Yeah, where we at here? Farmers Creek. 1265.
So you're out of Creek or where you at?
Farmers Creek. Up here,
Okay.
right there.
That pink line.
I see.
So
So the road's gonna be closed.
road will be closed. And traders, they usually, I would say within 3 weeks, they'll be done and then they'll be moved to the next bridge. They got 3 to do this year, plus the one bridge is getting taken out, replaced with a box culvert. But S2 is doing that, not Schrader, so. This is the one we're doing with the beams we had left over from last year, so it'll be a 50-foot span, 27-foot wide with a poured concrete deck.
So the box culverts, he's doing the excavating, but not the concrete, right?
Yeah, it's a precast bridge.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Precast concrete.
Okay, okay.
How big is that?
The box, well, I don't think it's gonna be considered a bridge. It's, I'd have to look, I don't know offhand what it is, the span of
I didn't
it.
know how big a section's like set.
Well, I'm sure like S2 will probably rent a crane to do it. Like I know when we do them in Clinton County, you buy a lifting lug set, there's cast holes in the top and they actually have a spreader bar you buy and then the crane, you typically rent a hydraulic crane and so. I guess that's it. We got a safety meeting tomorrow with the entire maintenance crew. Got to cover, we're gonna train on a new safety policy. We're gonna take a safety quiz. We got the new material safety data sheet policy. We're gonna train on that. Train on the excavation and trenching policy. And then I'm gonna meet with the grader operators afterwards and talk about we developed a cross section, like what the gravel road should look like. Like anywhere you go in the county, we should have consistency in what it is. I mean, the widths will vary a little bit, but we want this window of, this is how the road, what width the road top should be, the shoulders, ditches, and then also the crown of the road. So we have a target these guys should be aiming for. We're gonna talk about that, talk about the blading policy, like we have a blading policy, like talks about when to do the blading, how often they should do the blading, that kind of thing. Talks about aggregate and re-rock and that kind of thing, but it'll be specific to Jackson County. The idea is that you should be able to hopefully drive from one greater districts to the next and not really be able to tell where one guy starts and stops, basically. So we have a consistent kind of level of maintenance. So
That would be great. Who's teaching
teaching what?
the safety? Who's conducting it? Just
So we have
your office?
Mark Schaefer's doing the OSHA standard program stuff. And then I'm training the guys on the safety policy, excavation and SDS.
And
So
where is
city
that?
streets are 31 foot. They have an 8-inch crown. How does that compare to where the county's going?
So the cross section, and now that's nothing, this isn't permanent. You guys are a little different. Again, you guys probably have
Thanks.
a little narrower roads that I'm used to. And some of that is just because you got rock bluff, like right next to the road. So we're not gonna go out there and start hammering away at the rock bluff to get width. So, but typically we'd want, the minimum is you want a 9-foot traveled lane. So your minimum width should be 18 foot. Okay, that's by what the Astro standards are for low volume roads. So 18 to somewhere in the 26 to 28 foot wide. So if you get on flatter ground, higher level traffic, those roads are going to tend to be wider than other ones. You get a curvy, hilly, rock bluff, not much traffic, those are going to be more narrow. So crown, the industry standard is 4 to 6%. So just, and how much you said 8 inches, well, that'll just vary on how wide your lane is.
Yeah.
So the longer the lane, the more slope you're gonna have.
So that 8 inches on a 30-foot road, what kind of percentage is that?
So if you got say you got a 10-foot wide road, 10-foot wide lane, okay? If it's completely flat, it's 10 foot wide. If you want to have 5% crown, you need a 1/2 foot. You need 6 inches to get that.
All right, thanks, Melissa. Thanks.
Where is the safety meeting being held?
At the Macopa shop.
Okay.
Supervisors are invited.
What time?
I think it's.
I wasn't specifically invited one here.
I think it's 8 o'clock. I can double check that. I'm pretty sure it's 8.
Did you, the opening applications were to be in by the 14th?
Yeah, so I just got handed those this morning. Typically what I do is, so we number them just in the upper right-hand corner, just put a number on every application. I give them to Roger. He picks his, what I would say, top 5 or 6. Mike does the same. Jaden will do the same. I'll do the same. Anybody that shows on everybody's list, we interview. If you're on, 3 of the 4, we'll interview. And then the other ones, we just kind of see, unless somebody really has a really strong feeling about somebody, that's how I just kind of pare it down to who we interview. So we get those from Becky and then we pare it down from there.
Because it still was advertising it on the news this morning.
No, it should be closed. Yeah.
I said, this is the 18th. So, okay.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was on KMAQ.
Oh, all right. You're off.
Please, thank you.
Okay, so we got a busy day tomorrow. Long day of training. Everybody's favorite.
That's well done.
That's all I
Okay.
have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sarah. We had our bid openings and then they were given an opportunity to raise their bid if they chose to.
Okay.
And we're
And
still
then-
in that process.
And we're still in that process. We recessed and had Todd come over so that the bidders could decide what their final bid would be or what their next bid would be.
Okay.
One of the questions that came up is, do we need any verification of funding?
Can I see the bid form? Well, I know in the past we had included on the bid form, financial information so that we could verify that information. I think that that's up to you. If you feel that that would be a good idea, you can certainly table awarding the bid to allow time to do that.
Well, then you're gonna miss on $140,000 then, because I ain't coming back.
So what's the wishes of the board? Does anybody want to raise their bid from what they have bid so far?
I think I would like to hear from the board first, if they're gonna requests financing.
When you're in the department, because I ain't coming back here again.
Well, we certainly want to do our due diligence in our, I guess our responsibility is to make sure that funds are bid. And if we didn't have that in our bid policy or in the bid form, then is it our responsibility to take the highest bid and go from there?
You're an attorney, get with it.
Thanks, Dale. So when it comes to bids, you're looking for the highest responsible bidder. So if there's concerns about whether the bidder has the financing available, I think that you are well within your rights to determine whether or not that financing is there.
Well, I would think since they all submitted bids, they're responsible bidders. They would add the financing.
But we need to know that. Okay.
Okay, so first of all, we have to, I guess, if it was my decision, I would say, yeah, we'll finish the bidding, we'll take the bids. And we're gonna have to have verification of funds. We can ask for that, correct? Within a certain time frame.
I think so, yes.
And what's a logical time frame?
That I don't know.
End of the week or today? Dale, can you get verification or either any one of you?
I'm not coming back here again. I'm running today or not. Get with it. I elected you, so get with it.
I can go across the street to get
You're
it.
not even from this county anyhow.
Dale, so now.
So,
If they can provide verification of funds to us within. What's in a reasonable amount of time? I would think you
say
could call
by-
your bank and, or your financial institution, I should say, and get verification of funds. I think it's our responsibility to have verification of funds. Otherwise, I think we're gonna have to rebid it if the verification does not come.
well, I'm not coming back here again, so I'm leaving.
Well, it's got nothing to do with.
See you later. Give me a call if you have to get it rented.
We do that with all contracts. Even for road contracts, we verify it before we let it. When we open the bids. And again, whoever is, like for the roads, Todd would look through and make sure everything's what's
Is
supposed to.
Kurt out there?
Yes.
My question is now, since he was the top bidder, he left. What about his bid?
Is there another bid out there?
$145,000.
No, I mean, does anybody want to raise their bid yet compared to the top bid?
I was gonna get his phone number. I was gonna run mine though.
I think if you're gonna require a verification and he has left that you cannot verify, then you're gonna have to go to the next person. Whoever was the last bidder before.
Okay,
Follow
so
me?
the last legitimate bid we have then, if we're not gonna, if he does not want to verify his funds, is at 125, if I'm correct.
140.
Well, it was between them
His
two.
bid was 140 and Anthony Wright's was 125.
No, well, Anthony bid 135 also, but the
Oh,
point is, if he's not gonna verify the 135, he ain't gonna verify the 130.
Yeah, but what Mike's saying is, me and him were bidding against each other.
That's right.
Going back before.
I didn't hear the 135, that's why.
Yeah, there's
I heard
125,
125.
130, 135, 140.
We just, like, can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Why don't we just start it back up and see what happens before me and him were.
Okay, so.
Is
the
that
top-
fair or not? And if it's not fair, let me know. I don't have no idea.
okay. Legal constable.
Well,
Since,
Auctioneer, if you had an auction and the top bid leaves, don't you give it to the next bid down?
If that was coming into play, Sarah, my my parameters or my terms, I should say, in the process of the sale would be you have to have verification of funds. So they bring me a letter of credit before they come to the sale,
Mhm.
and they better damn well have the money. But the point is that they bring verification that says they have the money.
You fill
Now,
that
we
out
didn't
when you
put
get
that
your
in there,
bidding
that's our
number.
mistake.
Yeah.
To me, we never had this issue before,
I understand.
and I don't know that we have an issue. But history tells me that we should check it out.
Well, that's my concern too. I think that it needs to be verified that the funds are available before we award the contract, because after we award the contract, then it's.
Then if they're not there, then you go an entire at
Yeah.
least 1 year without even renting it. Because you won't know until March.
So, with that being said, if he took himself out of the bidding, is everyone else that's present okay with verifying funds within the hour?
Yeah.
All the other registered bidders.
We
So
had
then,
five, so I'm sorry, we have 5 bidders, 1 left, we have 4 left. Are all 4 represented here?
yes,
Okay,
You want an email or?
emails fine from a financial institution for me, you don't have to come back here.
Yeah, I would say that if,
What are you starting bidding over or what are you doing?
I would say we
No.
have to.
pardon,
I would say we have to start with the original bids and go from there. Because the original bid, highest bid was 102,785 submitted by McDermott, am I correct? Okay, so the next bid was from Anthony at 125. But that was because Dale's bid was 1,2,500. So the point is, Dale's not here to represent himself. My opinion is that you need to go from the highest bid that's here, 102,785, and go from there.
Was anybody gonna raise him?
you ignore the 125,000 or the 135,000.
The only reason he pushed to 125 or to 130 because he's been pushed by a representative that's not here to represent himself right now. He chose to leave the bidding process.
When you, yes. He is.
He
telling you
chose
he
to
is not
dismiss
going
himself
to-
from the bid because we asked for verification.
So you should just take his high bid out and go back to
Exactly.
Anthony's last. bid.
That's exactly what I said.
So 125,000, 135,000.
What's the bid?
To me, right now, the highest bid that's here representing is the ones we opened at 102,785, and you all have the opportunity to raise your bid.
Dale's bid started at 120.
So we're just gonna take all the bids out.
That's what he's
Yep.
saying.
He's not here to represent himself,
So
and he refused to give us adequate.
Okay.
Sounded
Tell me
like
if I'm
that
right
was
or
something
wrong.
he was not going to do.
I don't know why you need to rebid it. You would just go to the next person down.
He had no reason to go to that bid unless being pushed by somebody that's not here.
However you want to do it.
To me, it's not a legitimate bid because he's not here.
Okay.
His bid is null and void to me.
I agree with that.
So
are you gonna
we
ask him?
still have the right to reject any and all bids.
Yeah.
Okay,
So what's your plan?
But do they still have an opportunity to bid?
yes,
If it's
we're starting over.
102,785,
We're starting
they
over.
can rebid,
Absolutely.
yes. So that's what we're doing
We're
right
starting
now.
over.
The high bid right now is McDermott Corporation or Crop Solutions ALC at $102,785 per year. Chan Steppies is 79,870. Anthony's is 80,000. Joey Beaches is 70,000.
So each bidder has the opportunity to raise your bid at this time, correct?
Yes,
Thank you.
I'll go 110,000 if you're generous.
I'll go 115,000.
And are you Tyler?
Yes.
Okay. You, 115?
Mhm. No, 120, Anthony Rice. $125,000.
Tyler,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was looking down.
Mhm. I just said 125. Yep. And I'll do 126. 127. 130 was hit to it. It's yours.
$130.
And that was Anthony.
Yeah, that was Anthony.
Do got one question. Before the business close, I guess. Previously on the lease, it was 2-year lease, option 30 if no one terminated. Is that the same or is it just a 3-year lease no matter what?
I thought it was 3 with, was it 2 with the third? Optional?
It was in the past, but I'm not saying it's that way now.
We just talked about 3 years.
We advertise it as a 3-year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Satisfaction?
Clear.
Tyler?
Yeah, from March 1st, 2023 to February 28th, 2026.
Are there any other bids? Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
I would make a motion to approve the high bid of Anthony Rice. Is it Rice Farms or how you want to go by it for 130,000?
Rice.
Anthony Rice.
With the verification of funding.
funds.
I would second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And I think, Anthony, if you can get Luann, our email address here, and just have your bank verify the funding so that we can finalize it. All those in favor of the motion?
I
Aye, motion carried.
want to personally thank all you guys.
Yes, thank you very much for your patience and for,
I know it was a little
bidding.
disruptive, but I just feel it was our responsibility to bring that to attention. So, thank you all very much for participating.
Thanks for free entertainment.
I didn't hear that.
Thanks for the free entertainment.
Come again, any day.
I would give it to Luann. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thanks, Anthony.
Anything else you guys need from me? You good?
No, you gotta sign the contract though, right?
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
well, not till we verify the
Verify.
funding.
Okay, yep.
Thanks.
Nice.
The contract would be over probably at your office, that he could come over and sign it at your office. Sure.
Are you gonna be in town for a while yet, or?
I can be, I was just gonna go on NSD real quick and. get that
Oh, yeah,
straightened
that's
out.
fine.
Well,
If you want to stop back here.
Oh,
we
Yeah,
have-
if you want to
Or-
stop back here after you get a verification,
Yeah,
we
just
can
come
go
back.
ahead and sign the lease.
All right, sounds good, thanks.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
And the previous lease was 92.
96.
96. Okay.
Okay,
Somebody's gonna want that.
next up is Lisa Smith.
Actually, I think Sarah is next.
Oh, she
Sarah
is.
here. Yes,
Sorry about that.
yeah, we're gonna, yeah.
Proposed ordinance number 308, Pioneer Cemetery Commission.
So this is an ordinance that for the Pioneer, George Doherty and Elaine came and talked to, oh my goodness, June maybe, about the main issue is we have some cemeteries that have the 12 and 50 burials, and they're concerned that if another burial is done, So they no longer qualify as pioneer cemeteries, so they want the authority to continue to take care of those cemeteries. And then the other is to allow for a process for them to expend funds and take care of cemeteries that do not qualify as pioneer cemeteries, but have 24 or less burials. So it's like 13 to 24 burials. So sections 2 and 3 of this new ordinance allow for that. Section 2 allows for them to continue to have jurisdiction and maintain pioneer cemeteries if they no longer qualify. And section 3 allows them to make a request to the board and get a resolution, and that would be a specific, so for each cemetery they want to do that, they would have to come back for permission. The only other change would be section 7, there's just the code section changed, so I just fixed that. And I think there was some updated language. But other than that, this repeals the prior one, ordinance 120, and then makes those changes.
So with our conversation yesterday, I do, I'm having, we basically approved it before and there's not a lot of change to it, but I kind of slipped past what we were changing.
Yeah,
And I
so,
got answers to that yesterday, I believe.
yes, so if there's no questions and if there's no issues with the language, we just need to set a public hearing. And Luann had given me the date of November 1st at 9 a.m.
9:30.
Oh, 9:30, okay.
Well, I'm looking at them. I got to get my name already.
All right,
November what?
November 1st.
9:30.
I make a motion that we have the public hearing for the ordinance 308 on November 1st at 9:30 a.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to set the public hearing on the Jackson County Cemetery Commission ordinance. All those in favor?
Right.
Aye, motion carried. Thanks, Sarah.
Okay, so while Sarah is here,
Are you available?
I guess I am.
I think while Sarah is here, because I'm gonna ask her to stay, let's talk about the Welcome Center. And I know that this is on Luann's portion, but in Luann's portion, they have a discussion of possible action on the public hearing date for the sale of the Welcome Center. And I guess I have questions, and I know that you haven't awarded anybody for the RFP yet, as far as who's going to represent us. But that's why I want Sarah to speak a little bit, because I have questions as far as when do we have the public hearing? That's one question. Number 2 says that if we put this house on the building on the market on Monday, what happens if on Wednesday there's an offer? What happens? What should we do?
Are we required to have a public hearing for it?
Yeah.
Or did we do that?
If we sell, if we sell
So
property.
the one we
We didn't
had,
do that already?
okay, there,
That's why I want Sarah to talk
the
about
public
this.
hearing that the code requires is for who you're gonna actually do the sale to and for how much. We did an additional public hearing on whether we were gonna have any pushback on selling it at all. So that one is not the one required by code. It's a little premature to set one because you don't even have an offer yet.
That's right. So
So
we
you
can
don't
put
wanna
it
set
up for
that
sale
until-
legally,
Yes.
put it up for sale till we have an offer. And then, of course, the purchaser would have to wait till we have a public hearing to see if they're,
And how long is that process?
well, you got
Well,
the
it
same
depends on how
process of
long-
any public hearing. You got, what is
Is
it?
it 4 and 10?
10 and
No,
20.
no sooner than 4 and no longer.
420,
than 4 and 20.
420, yep.
Okay, I guess just so they know that when they're. if they're hoping to
I
get
guess
on.
what I was making sure is that I didn't want someone to come and present an offer, or we'd have to have a special board meeting.
Well, and I mean, closings, what, usually takes 60 to
weeks.
90 days, so it's not like having a public hearing is really out of,
The realm
The
of it.
realm.
They're not gonna move in the next.
If you're not
Right,
gonna, well,
exactly.
if you're gonna update the abstract and whatnot, other things that have to be done.
Mhm.
I mean, until it's approved, again, I guess, you know, if they verify their funds and their financing and
Mhm.
all the other recourses that has to go with it. I think it's all in the process yet. So I think we can put, to me, I think we can put it up for sale and take bids pending verification of the public hearing and
Okay, so I'm glad you said that one word. I think we need to also, I need to know if we need to do something. I'm not sure that we have an abstract to the property. Is it
Okay.
required by Iowa law to have an abstract to the property?
I would say
yes.
yes.
Then we probably should,
Go ahead.
Have one made.
and it's gonna cost us.
I get it.
Okay,
Well, we have to do it.
okay, well then if you're requiring that we have an abstract, then I think we need to contact the abstract company.
Can we
and-
do title opinion? No. Can we do title insurance? No.
Not now.
We gotta we gotta have the abstract.
Could we move the billing over in Illinois?
Close.
For a few
We're-
Well,
days.
then you still have the real estate underneath it.
So was it, maybe somebody can answer this for me. Was that property original county property or did we purchase that? Was there a motel sitting there at one time?
Yes, it was.
And we
Then I would think
purchased
there
it
Would be.
and we didn't get an abstract?
I'm just looking at this now. I thought we got it and I better make sure.
Oh, did we get a
Tax
tax
sale?
sale?
I think it was a tax sale.
Ah,
And I think that's why I do not believe that we have, it's not on Beacon as far as, yeah, it's not here as far as how we acquire title to it. But I was thinking that we acquired it by tax sale and therefore I do.
I would say that's probably true because the
Well, obviously,
hotel
we
got
have-
very run down and
Yes, yes.
was
So-
almost falling down.
I mean,
Obviously, we have to follow parameters, legal parameters, so
then
you will
it
have to get in.
will be pricey, but yes, we'll have to get going on that. I think it'll probably be more than
Well, it used to be for him.
that because we have nothing.
everything's cost more now.
Candy went up 13.1%. I read it this morning in
Oh,
the
my goodness.
governing magazine. It was on the governing.
Yes, trick or treat.
I do want to get back to Lisa's question about if somebody were to make an offer on Wednesday. So I think the decision for the board is, do you want to set like a time frame and say, we're gonna accept proposals until this date and then we're gonna discuss them, or are you gonna discuss them as they come in?
So first of all,
I-
we're not that far yet, I don't think, because we didn't list the property yet. What,
Right,
until we sign a listing contract and pick a business that's going to do it, then we can be, then we should decide to take offers for a time period. If it doesn't sell, it's on the market like. any
right.
other.
I'm not saying you need to pick the time period now. I'm just saying, is that how
Right.
you want to proceed, or do you want to take it just as they come in, discuss it? And I would encourage, if you're going to discuss them, we probably need to do them in closed session because obviously.
Any
that could-
negotiation is
Yeah,
closed.
yeah.
Okay, so my thought on that is, I guess, if you pick a professional company to do that, go on their recommendation of how to market it.
So when
I
is
mean,
the,
if the board decides to pick a real estate company to market it,
Right.
we would go by their recommendation for price and procedures, how to move forward.
so did we put a deadline on the request for a proposal from the realtors?
Yesterday.
When is that?
Yesterday.
Today?
I mean, this is.
Yesterday at 4:00. wasn't it?
Yesterday at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Did you get any?
Huh?
Oh, two.
They were emailed to us last night. Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay.
Okay, so just so we're clear, what you're suggesting then is we hold a public hearing after we receive an offer, and we've talked about it in closed session.
Right.
Then we set the public hearing.
When you're at the point where you're
Yeah.
ready to sell it, you need to have a public hearing so the public is aware of who is being sold to and how much.
We have to accept an offer before we have. a vote.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Maybe you just stick around.
So you didn't set one for November 1st?
No, that was a different thing.
That was for the
um,
Pioneer Cemetery.
Oh, that's right.
This come from,
We're not selling the cemetery.
this come from way down
You
on
can
the
buy a
bottom
lot,
of
but
the
you
page.
can't
Well, since Sarah was here, that's why I was like, I wanted Sarah to talk about this, so, yeah, all right.
Thank you, Sarah, for your
you.
assistance.
You're welcome.
So now I need to find.
Nowadays, it's your turn.
If I can
I gotta find
find.
your stuff.
I was just gonna say, I need. to
This is what
find-
it looks like.
Okay. All right, so today I need a motion to approve the minutes of the October 11th, 2022 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorize publication in the official newspaper.
So moved. Second?
We have a motion and a second to publish the previous meeting's board minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Motion needed to accept and place on file the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes for the September 14th, 2022 meeting.
So moved. They're nice and brief.
Motion and a second. I would just add that I happened to talk to Greg Stalker,
Mhm.
who is a new member, and he went out to the school last week. And he was really impressed with it.
Oh,
He thought it was a really
Good
good
news.
school and
mhm.
taught him quite a bit. So
Yeah, that's good news.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Motion needed to approve a 5-day special Class C liquor license, Class B native wine, outdoor service and Sunday sales to St. Patrick Church at 28914 46th Street, Bernard, effective October 27th, 2022 to October 31st, 2022.
Motion to approve.
I would second.
We have a motion. Are they having a festival or something for 5 days?
No, they have their annual
Church dinner.
auction and
Yeah.
dinner and soup and,
I think this is the minimum license, isn't it?
oh, it's a fun event if you.
Oh, I've been there, yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah. I
So
haven't
last
been
week,
there.
I presented to you, talking about the monitoring wells down at this fairgrounds. I contacted the company, they sent us the coordinates. Bjorn and I went out on Friday, we located both wells. Monitoring well 104 is actually in the fence line near the Together We Build building. And the second one, monitoring well 103, is basically over on the east side of the fairgrounds, basically where the stack cars are gonna be parked. I did make a phone call yesterday and I've had several emails concerning this property. But when I talked to a representative from Tetra Tech, I explained, she said that they, originally what they thought of monitoring well 104, that they were going to, that was in the road right away. But honestly, there is no road there. Yes, there's a road, but it's not a city street. So, and the gal that I talked to yesterday, I explained that to her, that this first monitoring well, which is around the Together We Build, I don't believe that it will affect the building at all. But I believe that you as a board really should authorize that well also, because it is on the fairgrounds property, since there is no city street, that you should also authorize that also.
So they're just looking for permission to go onto the property and to assess this.
They're gonna put a
They're
monitoring well
gonna
in.
put a monitoring
They're
well
So
there.
how deep or what is this? What?
They're gonna dig,
Up to
according to the one,
150-foot deep.
yeah, until
Or
they hit
until they
bedrock,
hit,
wasn't
or
it?
until they hit bedrock.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. And they're gonna put, because of the location of the two wells, they're going to be put into what they call a flush mount monitoring well that can be driven over.
So the other one is like over by the driveway where they come off the 62 northeast
No,
corner.
It's in that field on the
You know where the sign
east
is?
side of the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
If you
North
come
of the
in
sign
by
a little bit.
where the volunteer hall is, that grassy area south, north of that.
I would say the sweeping curve inside the fairgrounds on the east side, it's kind of in that corner.
Well, I think we certainly need to know, right?
We do know.
Yeah, they get
64 corners.
Okay.
No, we have the coordinates. We can,
No, but I mean, we need to allow them to do this, right?
yes.
We don't have a choice.
I would say, yes,
I mean, we need to know if there's.
yes. It
Okay.
needs to be done and they
There's a
are
health
coming.
concern,
If
right?
they're not here, then they are coming because that was her call yesterday is, and they believe that they'll be here 3 weeks to do all of these wells that they need to put in.
How many wells total?
Well, if we're monitoring well 103 and 104, I don't know if they are in order or not, but it sounds like quite a few.
Okay.
I did not ask the
I
specific.
saw a
number.
bunch of locations over at the Historical Society too.
Oh, yeah.
I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
No motion and a second to approve the monitoring wells at the fairgrounds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Motion needed to approve resolution number 923-10-18-2022, moving $5,000 in appropriations from the Emergency Medical Coordinator to the Mental Health Transport Department for transports. And the reason that we're doing this is because of with the no longer having Fund 10 and trying to get reimbursed from the sheriff's office, we're having to create a department. It'll be Department 11, I believe. And this way, when the sheriff's office does a transport specifically for mental health patients, that it's taken out of this money, so it's easy to track and it's easy to for the sheriff's office to bill to the mental health region. So we're creating this and we're starting with $5,000.
Okay, make a motion to approve.
I would second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye, motion carried.
I would need a motion to approve the setting of a public hearing date for fiscal year 2023 for a budget amendment on November 1st, 2022 at 10 a.m.
And we have one at 9:30, right?
Correct.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the budget amendment meeting on November 1st, 2022 at 10 o'clock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
The last item that I have, this deals with the pay of anybody that's associated with working for the election. From our temporary election officials that work at the polls on election day to who we have hired to deliver equipment, to pick up equipment, the carriers, return couriers at the end of the night. If I hire someone in the auditor's office to work with us in the office during this busy season, all of that pay needs to be done by resolution. So I am asking for a resolution, but I also would like to be clear that I'm also asking for a raise for our election officials. Currently, the election officials that work at the polls on election day are being paid $9 an hour. And I would like to see the pay raised $1 an hour for the workers to $10 an hour, and the chair people make $11 an hour.
Make a motion to approve.
So with that being said, this is a resolution, so I would ask for a motion to approve resolution number 924-10-18-2022. It's the election officials to be paid at, the election officials are to be paid at $10 an hour, with chair people being paid at $11 an hour. And the rest of everybody else to be paid at $14 an hour for the delivery pickup and the couriers at the end of the night.
And we'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution on salaries for the workers at the election. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you. And my election officials, thank you. And that's all that I have for the board today.
Okay.
Okay, Luann. And it's 9:55, and that's exactly when you're supposed to be cutting up. Cut up.
On schedule.
Stay on schedule this morning.
What are you looking for?
I'll clean it.
Oh, it's right there on the counter.
On the corner.
Okay, thank you.
Good thing it isn't biting.
Wow.
That's fairly-
Okay.
Good morning, Luann.
Good morning. Okay, calendar for this week. Of course, this afternoon, early at 12:45, from 12:45 to 1:15, we have the presentation by Iowa State Auditor Rob Sand. At 2 o'clock, Jack has Mississippi Valley Workforce CEO meeting, either in Muscatine or by Zoom. She thought you could make it once we got done, so.
It's gonna be 2:30.
2:30.
She changed
They
it, so
changed
I
it.
would have drive time.
And then tonight is a conservation board meeting at Hurstville for Larry, and it is starting early at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
But I don't believe there's a Zoom option for that either. Wednesday, October 19th at 2:30 is the ribbon cutting at the Pleasant Valley Junior High School in Leclerc for their ninja course or whatever, fit core course that they're calling it, the one they, it's very similar to what they want to do in Preston.
Mhm.
So that is 2:30 on Wednesday. 3 o'clock on Wednesday is the Mississippi Valley Workforce Fall Fiscal TA session by Zoom for Jack. And at 5:30 that night is a Historic Preservation Commission meeting, if any of you want to attend that.
Where are those at?
I think they at the Clinton Engines.
Oh, okay.
Thursday, October 20th at 6:30 is Limestone Bluffs RC&D, and she has that sent me information on that, but it's usually available by Zoom, and you probably know if it's in Anamosa, if they've decided that, but that's for Jack. Also at 6:30 is a REAP meeting in Hurstville. This is an annual meeting, and usually it's the board chair attends that.
Well, since I
So-
can't be at two places at the same time, would you, as vice chair, would you want to go to that?
Sure.
Okay. Monday, October 24th at 4 PM is an early childhood Iowa council meeting. Into it for Jack. Our next regular meeting will be at 9 AM on Tuesday, October 25th. And at 4 PM that afternoon, I tentatively have down the Coconut River Watershed Management executive meeting by Zoom for Larry. So I think some of my portion has been dealt with. And around the way it's going. So we set up the public hearing date for the Welcome Center. Do we still need to have some discussion and decision on the Realtor proposals? For marketing that?
I think we should open the bids and decide who's going to do it.
Well, we've read them.
Yeah, they weren't sealed bids anyway.
Oh, no, okay.
They're in your packet.
Is there any comments from,
Any comments from anyone that's online? I don't hear any, so.
The bids came in yesterday afternoon before the deadline by email.
everybody have a chance to read them?
I looked at them last night after I got with my ticket.
What's the system?
There should be, did you make copies of them?
There's copies in your packets.
Yep.
Yep. Behind blue tab, they should be. Before Lori's stuff, before all the zoning stuff.
Right.
We had one, I think, first bid that came in was one, I don't know what was first, but one from East Iowa Realty and one from Nemers Realty. Those are the two bids, or the two responses, proposals that we got.
Do you need time to review?
Luann, did you, or Lisa, did you have an opportunity to look at these?
I just went through it now. I didn't know about
Do you want
this.
to take a recess?
It's okay. I mean, if you guys are ready to make a decision, I mean.
I guess I'm pretty much ready. We're gonna recess for a minute. We've had an opportunity to review the two, review again, the two proposals that we got, and are we ready to make a decision?
I would like to say I'm gonna abstain from participating in my position with the industry, so I'm just gonna abstain.
I would make a motion to accept for East Iowa real estate.
And I would vacate the chair to second the motion to appoint East Iowa Real Estate. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. And Mike abstains. So Luann, you'll send him an email or call and,
No,
They both left. They were both on a little bit ago. But they both left. They were both on a little bit ago, but they both left.
oh. Probably because we went off the air.
Well, they both left before that, I think.
Okay,
I think that's all I have for you.
okay, thank you. Is Lori going to come down for our public hearings?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll recess until we're joined by Lori Rolling. And we're being joined by Lori Rolling, our Jackson County zoning administrator. Good morning.
Good morning.
So where do you want to start?
At the
Well,
beginning.
first item on our agenda is action on 306.
Could you open the public hearing, please? Isn't this a public hearing?
Oh, okay, okay. At 10:05, it's the public hearing on 10 o'clock is the public hearing on ordinance number 306, clarify requirements for zoning, for a zoning permit.
And basically we're all about the zoning permit, and really the ordinance didn't spell out what you were receiving and why the paperwork was being filled out. It also didn't explain occupancy, occupancy compliance certificate or construction compliance certificate. And it was a little gray on what is the construction compliance certificate. Some people were taking it as, well, you said that my house is in compliance and that it's passed. It's like, no, basically it's saying that it's just spelling out what this stuff is, and that the construction compliance certificate is just basically saying that what they're proposing to build is compliant within that zoning district. And it's not guaranteeing or certifying the quality of construction. But basically that's it, just clarification about the permits and what we issue.
Well, we discussed them extensively when you brought them in, and I think this is for the public hearing.
Yes.
Right, yep.
Is there anybody that,
Anybody from the public that wishes to address draft ordinance number 306?
if not, I would make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing on draft, on ordinance number 306. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Now we open the public hearing on ordinance number.
Make a motion to approve it.
No, we
Well,
didn't.
that's
You wanna
not in
wait?
that
You
order.
closed the public hearing on 306. Do you wish to make a decision on ordinance number 306?
Make a motion to approve resolution 306.
Okay,
Do
Ken,
you want to waive the second and third public hearing?
And I do want to waive the second and third hearings.
I would second that.
A motion and a second to approve ordinance number 306 and to waive the second and third public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
motion carried.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Now we will
I have
move.
a silly question
Okay,
before we do that. But we'll also have on here discussion possible action on property ordinance 306 requirements for zoning permit. What is that something different?
I think that's just part of the ordinance 306. I mean, so we had to open the public hearing, close the public
Right.
hearing. Then you voted
Approve it.
on, then you approved it and you chose to
Right.
waive the second and third hearing.
We did that.
So
and right
everything now
underneath-
as far as 306 is complete.
Okay, so right underneath the second, and third hearing, there's another line there.
So the ordinance is clarifying requirements for zoning permit.
That's, it, yeah, it did. It talks
It's
about
in
what it
the-
is.
Mhm.
Ordinance. okay.
Yes,
yeah,
It's-
ordinance.
It's included.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
This is like,
Nope,
I'm
you're good.
sorry, I was a little confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now he's needs
and
to
if you
open-
are,
Yeah.
imagine
Well, I
us.
didn't know what
Well,
what he
that's what it
was
said. I was
asking.
just
yeah.
reading it.
I didn't write it.
So now we're
Yeah,
finished
I
with
was shortening it up
306.
a little, that's
Yes.
all I did.
We
So,
cleared it.
sorry
Okay,
about that.
It's
now
all good.
open the public hearing for ordinance number 307.
Okay, do I talk?
Mhm.
Yep, that's you.
Okay.
Brief explanation.
Brief, I could do that. I could do that. So basically, this is just bringing the ordinance up with the gender neutral up to date with gender neutral pronouns. Taking it away from 1976 where everything was he, and I'm not laughing.
That's Mary laughing.
I am laughing, but I was he. So anyway, it's replaced the he's and his with theys and theirs and thems. It cleaned up the like chairmen to chairpersons, just, I know. But
Yeah.
truthfully, the first time I read it, I did a Mary. I was sitting there giggling. It's like, he.
All right,
So
we
anyway.
discussed that too. With no input from the public, I would make a motion to close the public hearing. Have a second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing on proposed ordinance number 307. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
What's next?
No, you gotta
Make a motion to approve
read this thing here.
ordinance 307.
I would second. And with,
The
Wait a
whole
minute.
resolution number.
307 to use only gender neutral pronouns.
and to waive the second, third reading, did you include that?
Yes.
I would second that.
And to waive the second and third public hearings. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Aye.
Next, it says proposed
Yeah,
possible action on ISU extension contract
okay,
Training,
pardon me?
training.
Yes, oh yeah, I did, but he said that, I knew it was training, so anyway, we've talked about training for commissions, for board of supervisors, and, well, by then I should have we should have a new employee. So, so the training is time just at a really good time, just to get any new board of supervisor trained. Let them kind of know their roles in zoning and what their responsibilities are. We have Board of Adjustment members and commissioners that have not been, that didn't understand their roles. We've tried to do what we can. I did attend this training myself back in August down in, I was a guest in Bettendorf. They allowed me to attend and fed me and everything. So
I'm sorry, Lisa, what's the date?
the
31st?
31st is a Tuesday.
30? No, there ain't no 31st. There ain't no 31st in November.
January.
January.
It's January.
Yeah, and I don't have my phone with me.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So it's $750. The trainer does come here, Luke Seberg from the Iowa State Extension. And I have invited other entities to attend that would be willing to do cost sharing. I don't know if we just want to charge them us pay for the training and then charge them to attend, if we want to set up a fee, or because Bellevue's looking to attend. Probably someone or a couple from the city of Macokota. I have 6 committed from Jones County.
Preston, okay, so I think that's a viable option. Are you talking per person or per entity they're coming?
$750 is
Again,
For the
but-
whole
but
training.
When you're inviting other persons or entities, are you you think about taking a fee from, per se, one entity like Bellevue, or per person who comes from Bellevue?
I would say per person.
Okay,
With me.
and we're still in the meeting. So, I think that's a good idea, as long as we can legally do that.
Or do we just pay for it and have everybody from the county?
And that would be okay too. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I was just worried. I know you guys are, concerned.
No, I think that's viable. I think that at $25 per person, whether it be Jones or Preston, whoever, I think that's a viable.
I agree. I think just pay for it
And
and invite those that want to come.
Yeah,
Okay, and not charge them.
I think it's good training and it's reasonable and we'll pay for the bulk of it. Just so that we can legally do
I'm
that.
hearing 2 things here. I'm hearing us pay for it, not charge them, but I'm hearing pay for it and charge them. What am I hearing? I heard,
I think it should be a service for the board members, a
Okay.
free service.
okay, for even Jones County too.
Well, I don't know about other counties. I guess I would say for Jackson County. You want to add some for the other counties or not?
I'm just making recommendations and you guys, Mike's, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. So whatever you-
I still stand by my original comment that I think $25 a person is reasonable.
Okay.
I mean, that still puts us with the bulk of it, be it 600, be it 500, whatever it is. And if they want to come and get some training, I think it's reasonable for us to do the legwork to line it up. It treats everybody fair. But I don't know, that's just an opinion.
Okay, and if we do that, we'd want to pay for it upfront.
Yeah.
And then
Reimburse.
you can walk me through.
You're gonna pay the entire $750, and then depending on what the board decides today, you would charge that $25. So we have an expense and a revenue.
I would make a motion
As long as it's legal.
Yeah,
for all residents of Jackson County to be paid, anybody outside the county would pay the $25.
Say that again.
Everybody in Jackson County goes for free. Anybody outside the county pays 25 per person.
Is there a second? The motion would die for a lack of a second.
I would make a motion that you set up the training, invite whoever wants to come, and that each participant shall pay a fee of $25 for participation.
Whether they're inside or outside.
Yes,
That include us.
we're paying for it anyway. We're paying for the bulk of it.
So anyone that's under the Jackson County umbrella would not be paying $25.
Correct.
So it would be like the city of Bellevue, if they send 6
Municipalities,
people,
correct.
they're gonna remit a check for
City of Macocota.
$150. Okay,
But the county,
But our county zoning commission would not have to pay.
Absolutely not.
our zoning
Okay.
commission, our board of adjustment. our zoning
Supervisors,
Office,
we're paying for it already.
right,
Any county employee that attends would not have to pay, or board member.
but we'd still have to pay for the $750 upfront.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right,
I would second the motion.
So did you get it right?
so the question I have is, have you approved the contract yet?
I think we did that last. No, we did not.
this is the first time it's.
I'd make a
approved.
motion to approve the contract.
Wait a minute, let's do the
Okay.
first motion I have from Mike says to approve members of Jackson County attending for no charge. And those members,
Not,
just to be charged
Okay, we're talking about
$25.
any county employee that attended, or any zoning or board of adjustment member that attend would not pay the fee.
If they were Jackson County.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
right.
Okay,
I can work
The
with
city
that.
of Bellevue, the city
Associated
of
with
Preston, any other person that attended, there would be a $25 fee for those individuals to attend.
And then you talk to them individually, so they basically agreed to that.
I talked to Abby, I've talked to Michelle.
Teresa.
They were interested.
Okay,
I talked to them and they
that's fine.
didn't seem like they were interested, reached out to.
So we have a motion and a second on the
Yeah.
table, is that correct?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
I would make a motion to approve the Iowa State University Extension contract as presented for the zoning training.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the contract with Iowa State University. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
They will put that one in front of the line.
It's okay, it all will make sense.
So,
And the last item I see on the list is possible action on ECIA comprehensive plan contract.
So we had all talked before, we had talked during a meeting, and I know I've talked to each of you when we were out at ISAC in August. There was a big. I didn't talk to you up there. Okay,
my wife was having surgery,
Okay.
which she has to do again tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Oh, jeez.
but I know I talked to you guys, and I know there was a lot of information being given to you guys at ISAC about why we need a comprehensive plan. And so I brought it up, did some research. I'm actually started even before that. Just see what counties around us have them, what counties don't. Dubuque County, of course, they've had a comprehensive plan for a long time and done their rewrites. Clinton County, they have a master plan, but my understanding from their zoning administrator is a master plan does not a replacement, a true legal replacement for a comprehensive plan. And that making decisions with only a master plan versus a comprehensive plan does not stand up in court. Jones County just did, I think, their third rewrite since they first started their zoning. Most places actually have a zoning plan, have a comprehensive plan in place before they actually have a zoning ordinance. And what that comprehensive plan does is it lays out a blueprint, how you're looking to see growth happen. And that's why they also recommend rewriting or reviewing them every 5, 8, 10 years, whatever, depending on the growth of your county. Just where are things going? Has there been a change, in development patterns that you want to address or something like that? One of the things too that really needs to be focused on even before we develop ordinances for it. I know one of the things that we all discussed was CO2 pipelines. We talked about renewable food, energy sources, solar, wind, and all that could be addressed in a comprehensive plan to see where we looked and see that for the future before we develop ordinances on it, which we need to develop ordinances on all three of those things that I just mentioned. And I know you guys were pretty concerned about that. And as a matter of fact, I did a talk last week at Rotary and Optimist. And one of the questions that I had was, what is Jackson County's policy on CO2 pipelines? So people are paying attention and understanding some of the urgency of that. And then the follow-up question was about solar and solar farms. So just people are paying attention and do have concerns. And then knowing that we don't have anything down pat regarding either of those. So,
do we have anything on hydroelectric?
no, sir, not to my knowledge.
We don't have it, period.
That one right here?
So
We don't have it in there, but is that something that should be?
That
I
would,
guess that's up to the individual that we hire to write this comprehensive plan too, that know we have the capability of having hydro energy. So there's, as you know, I've made several calls on this.
yes, I did.
So I called Buchanan and they do have a plan. They've had one since 2013. Clinton, like you said, has a master plan. Jones is on their third rewrite of it. Delaware is actually had a master plan and they're on their second rewrite.
But they just adopted their
In
ordinance.
2022, yes.
Yes, it was
I've
recently.
also been told that a lot of times there is grant funding available to write this.
Yes,
So
and
is what ECIA is doing with the 25,000? That's what we're talking about?
yep,
So
that
that's
is
why they're
my,
contributing that part of it.
that is my understanding, yes.
My
So
other question is, so the 25,000 that is gonna cost our portion of it, is that budgeted for, or will that be budgeted in the next 23-24 budget?
that was my hopes that you guys would commit to budget that for the 23-24.
Because I understand that for most people I talk to, it takes about 2 years to write these.
Yes,
Yeah, and you write them and you don't look at it for 10 years and then you bring it back out and look at it.
well,
I think some of the issues that we are considering or having them review is stuff we will, or the board will be looking at, not just waiting a couple years.
right,
Well, some of the new issues that come into play, of course, like you say, is the
Sure.
solar, which Scott County, as we know, passed an ordinance that X amount of land with a certain CRS2, there's no solar provided.
Right.
Solar farm. So they just passed that, so that's coming into
Is
play.
that
and,
with Scott?
Scott County did.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that come into play. I mean, the windmills, we don't really have an issue with them now, but are they coming? Do we have an issue with pipeline? Maybe, yeah, but I guess it should be addressed. I would, and when I was talking to Michelle from Jones County, she says I could gladly get on her site. There's two of them, two plans, their old one and their new one on their site, Jones County. I have not had a chance to read it. I would like to have a chance to read it just to see it. but
The new one, I still think's in draft. I don't,
She told me there was two of them on this site, so.
okay, oh, it might be their first and their second one, because the newest one's still in draft form, and they're looking to maybe do some consolidation on it.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a process. It will not happen overnight. And I believe in the contract it even states that, oh, I know I read it somewhere, but about a 12-month, roughly 12-month time period, which it could be more. Part of the things that might slow it down would be the public input, because you do ask for public input sessions from the community to get their opinions on different aspects of the comprehensive plan and where growth might.
Do we have to have a public hearing to have a comprehensive plan drawn? No.
I wouldn't think so.
I know, I did find out that the city had one drawn in the last since when Gerald was here. So I also found out that if you have a comprehensive plan and you go to apply for grant funding, the first question they'll ask you is, do you have? a comprehensive plan?
Gee, maybe we could get a
So
comprehensive plan.
you might have the opportunity to get more funding, or, they have a better chance of looking at you in a positive way, I should say. Whatever it amounts to, I guess, like I said, I have not. I would like the opportunity to read one, but that's.
Well, here, I do have some other stuff to add to your reading material list. And this is the code that basically zoning works out of is 335.
The style code, you mean?
Iowa code, yep, they work at a basically code section 335.5 is what I just gave you. And it
Okay, the very
talks,
first line says shall be in accordance. So if we don't have one, then we don't have to be in accordance if we don't have one.
right,
Right?
but so, but at the same time, it's recommended. It's like, it's an Iowa code. I mean, they're suggesting that you have this in, pretty big way that they're even making laws around it. And then in 18B, which it references in 335.5. So in the smart planning land use 18B.2, it also talks about local guidelines and the developing of the smart planning and the comprehensive plan.
So in the history of this also, I found out that a previous zoning administrator was in the process of doing this, never got it done. Do you remember anything about that, Jack? Yeah. And why didn't it get done? Was it a cost thing, or was it just?
I just think they dropped the apple.
Okay.
Because
It appears we're behind the times a little bit here, but to catch up, it's gonna cost us, I guess.
well, it would cost us anyway.
Either
for
way,
It would have
rewriting
cost
if
us
we were-
anyway, but
Yeah.
And what's it costing you right now in grants if it's something that they would be offering? It might make itself up, with first grant application that's made.
I hate to wait till next year.
Well, here it says the board of supervisors may amend a proposed comprehensive plan prior to the adoption. So if we're working on one, we could use that to submit to.
But we're not right now.
No.
And there's, I mean, the one that Dave Manning was preparing, I think it was, I don't even know what year, I did find the old documents. It's, Dave's handwritten notes and just a lot of papers taught to the commission. Some of them were on the commission at the time. And they were making headway, and all of a sudden, I don't know, where this, if there was lack of support somewhere or why, I have no idea. But this would be a process. So I was looking if you guys were willing to sign the contract or approve the contract. approve the $25,000 in the 23-24 budget. They cannot start this until after July 1st of 2023, because that's when they will get their cost share, is my understanding.
So not even any background work
For what? I don't understand.
for the plan, they have to gather a lot of information.
They have to gather a lot of information. They're starting over. They're not rewriting it over.
Right, I get it. So they don't even start that background stuff until.
No. Apparently not.
That is my understanding.
So it's a pleasure of the board.
I would make a motion to approve the contract.
I would second that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have.
You could have done it without me, that's, I'm just, and my only portion was to wait, I just wanted to read Jones County. I'm sure there's
Okay,
nothing.
we have a motion and a second to approve the contract with ECIA for a comprehensive plan. All those in favor? Aye, motion carried.
Do you also have to approve the money being allotted?
No,
For the-
no,
Budget?
we just know that we have to put it in the budget.
Oh,
They have to
actually-
put it in the budget for next.
Does that come out of my budget or should that come out of the Board of Supervisors budget?
It'd
or
be
the
a county,
Board's budget.
yeah, county board's budget.
Just check it, because mine's gonna be turn ugly anyway. So anyway, and then these other sheets I put in here, these are awesome. These are really good. So if you just, I mean now it's putting the horse after the cart, but, or vice versa. But anyway, any other questions? from you
Just
guys?
how are we coming with applications for your opening?
We received some nice applications, nice applicants, quality applicants. We're in the process.
So have we heard anything from the court system? Are they moving the box or?
We haven't heard anything.
They're gonna be here to look at it till tomorrow afternoon, so.
What about our wiring to the offices that we have to do anyway? Have we do, how's our contractor?
It's on the schedule, but it's gonna be a pain with election going on, I know that.
And we were kind of hoping to have, and it's still possible that we could have the new staff member on board by that first week of November.
Well, you can be on board, but the offices won't be moved in.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
What about South End?
Marty is dedicating his time to the Welcome Center. I did go down last week on Friday and did a little cleanup of the hallway downstairs. And I think what I'm going to do is take some blue painter's tape and tape what I believe can be taken out for salvage. Then the remaining, I think what we'll do is we'll put a bid sheet on top of everything, put an email out, let everybody know to come in, put a bid, and at this certain point in time, the bidding will be over and we'll get rid of that stuff.
Who's bidding? General public or?
You know what? How do you want me to do it?
You're talking about the stuff here or the
Downstairs.
stuff there?
Yeah, so I think first we need to get out what's not going to be sold.
Absolutely.
So my goal, of course, I don't know, we've got this thing called an election going on, I don't know. So anyway, that's what, I went down last week, I took a look at it, I moved some stuff around, I moved some racks in, trying to get the hallway cleaned up. And hopefully now, I don't know how, I haven't been able to talk to Marty this week, so I said he's down at the Welcome Center, but my thought was to get rid of that stuff that I know won't sell and just get rid of it.
And I think we're logically, we can do that. And the
Yeah.
rest of it that we think that might be of some value to somebody. I don't want to free for all walking through the courthouse, but the other point of it is it should be available to everybody and not just county. I don't,
So let me just clarify how you want this stuff sold.
Well, I think you have to put an ad in that somebody wants to come and put a bid on it. The code actually
So where do
says
we
how
do
we can
that?
sell it.
Do we bring it all back here or take it to
Honestly,
can we just take it to an auction place?
It'll
in
have to-
Schuler's or someplace?
we weren't very successful with that.
Are we talking about the stuff in the basement or the stuff in the basement
Right now, we're
and the
talking
stuff
about
at the,
Just the stuff in the basement.
okay,
That's all I'm
Oh, okay.
concerned with. Just the stuff in the basement.
We need to clean that all out for safety.
I'm gonna say that I can't imagine there being much value in any of it.
I had received a couple of phone calls on a couple of items, but for the most
Sure.
part, a lot of that is salvage, and I would like to get rid of that first. Yeah, for various reasons. If you want me to put an ad in the paper, I can do that. Depending on,
I would say.
you know, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, you know, honestly, what are we gonna get out of it? I mean, is
Very
the
little.
end, so is the end of the paper gonna be more than what the value of what we're going to get? I mean,
It could
seriously,
be.
I would say yes.
I don't. By the time I put the ad in the paper in all three official newspapers, kind of ate up quite a bit of money.
Amen. Amen.
I mean, I know what
I
you're
agree,
saying,
I
Mike.
get it. I know there's parameters that the code says that we have to follow, but that's.
You know what, I think
And I
Mr.
think we
Reese
have the legal right to dispose of.
has
it.
been waiting out in the hallway for us to
Are
sign
you-
his contract, so.
I told her to come back in a half hour.
Oh, did you?
But
Okay.
got
We can
till
talk
10
about
till,
this later.
so-
I mean, it's a good discussion. Unfortunately,
I didn't know if I was part of this. I guess I'm not.
No.
I was making sure.
Unless
no,
want
you
some
can
stuff.
be. Would you like to be in charge of it?
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
So.
Oh, I'm hearing yes. I think
You
that's.
need-
Did
I
you say
don't have a
Tony was
lot
on?
of time,
Huh?
but-
Did you say Tony was on?
Yeah, he was. He came to the window and he brought something into, I assume the thing from the bank to land.
Is he still out there?
So the two,
I told her to come back in half an hour, which is 10:02, so.
so the two leases are right here.
And
So-
this is what he gave you, Lisa. Is the, from the bank.
I don't want
And
to
he's
look
got
at it.
approval.
I was like, somebody else look at it.
I'm sure she's.
Yeah, that's correct. Because here, let me clarify here just a minute.
It says Anthony J. Reese has secured financing to lease 241 crop acres and 75.6 pasture acres for the Jackson County farm in the amount of $130,000 per year for 2023 crop year. Wacona State Bank has done business with Anthony since 2012 and appreciate the chance to finance his operation. Please feel free to call if you have any questions. Brian Nam.
We already have a motion to accept the bid.
Or with this, and we
Now
got
we have
this.
it.
So,
That should go with the contract on that side.
yeah,
So Luann, as far as, are you okay with that, having Anthony just come in and sign that?
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
if he's
I
there.
have cat too, but that's okay.
okay, so here's that. We'll have to put that with the lease when we get all done.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
We'll get everything, okay. Um,
Are we ready for Lynn?
So the question I have, let me make sure that I understand. When you made your motion, we accepted the contract for $130,000 with the condition that proper financing.
Yep.
be-
Appropriate funding was available,
Okay,
something like that. Because that was our
Financing approval.
Yeah. financing approved, whatever you want to, however you want to word it.
I'm good now.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, Lynn,
Okay.
Good morning.
good morning.
I'm just here on my monthly visit with you guys. We had a governing board meeting for the mental health region yesterday. Jack and I were both in attendance. We both ironically had to leave at 4:15 or 4:20. So just to hit a couple of the highlights, David Farmer, the region's fiscal agent, reported to the board that currently there's over $11 million in our fund balance in our cash and bank. That's much higher than we would like it to be, and we had anticipated, and we have commitments that it would have been less than that. The challenge we're really running into are the agencies that the Robert Young contract has contracted with have been unable to find the staff to fill the open positions that are a part of this fiscal year's contract with Robert Young. So, and also significant programs that are fairly costly are not up and running yet because of that same reason. Obviously, we really hope that turns around. If you remember, Lori Elam, the region's fiscal agent or CEO, had submitted a request to DHS to allow us to encumber some of our dollars from our fund balance from last fiscal year towards contracts that we currently have. And DHS approved $2.7 million of that money to be kind of spared from being included in our ending fund balance for FY22. She has to submit quarterly reports. And in essence, if the staffing had gone and the programming had gone the way we had hoped, we should have ideally spent maybe about a quarter of that now, because we're a quarter of the way through the fiscal year for the first quarter report. Unfortunately, she was only able to submit $133,860 on that encumbrance. And it can
11
be,
million, wow.
yeah, it can be just attributed right back to the lack of being able to start the
So
program.
are we talking about children's mental health not being started?
That is one of the large areas. So there's community-based crisis stabilization services, and there's community-based residential services for kids that have not been able to be started because the agencies that have the contract have not found staff. Family Resources in Davenport is providing the physical setting for the residential services for community-based or for community residential crisis services. They have the physical structure completed. They had that done largely by June 30th, but now they have a director hired, but they don't have all of the day-to-day 24-hour, 7 days a week staff that they need.
And then yesterday, we also heard that Eagle View, which is the new hospital that was built for mental, they have closed their children's unit because they cannot get people to work in it.
That we're hoping that's a temporary situation.
It's
But they
supposed to
did
be
put-
temporary, but
Yeah,
at the present time, we can, if we had a client that needed to go there, they would not be able to.
that would be under the age of 18.
So are the other regions having the same problems we are?
Everybody in the state is.
It's the workforce concern that, yeah, it's statewide against all types of businesses and industries and agencies. Yeah, this is not something that is at all reflective on the efforts that are being put forth to find the staff. It's just the available workforce is not there. So stay tuned. Obviously another quarterly report we'll be doing January after December 31st. And we're really hoping that we have some of those positions filled and operational. The board did approve a couple of programmings for children. One, Jack and I had the opportunity to hear about both of these at a 1 o'clock meeting. We also attended the Children's Advisory Group. But at the governing board, they did approve both programs to be funded. One is called Challenge to Change, and it's a program that can be available to all the schools in the region. And it has to do with training children how to manage their emotions and to calm themselves. It's obviously a progressive training.
And we're talking 127 schools.
Right. Mhm.
It's in our region.
In our region. Currently, already 18 schools in our region use this program. They are funding it through the respective school districts. 17 of
The
those
only
schools.
one in Jackson County is in Bellevue,
Yeah,
but all of Dubuque County is doing it, and the high school in Davenport, one of the,
17 schools in
yeah,
Davenport.
17 schools in Davenport,
Mhm.
they're using this program.
And then there was another program called Trauma and Society, and this is geared towards 11th graders, and it's a curriculum that helps 11th graders. It's something we all need to understand is trauma, what trauma is to us and how it affects our ability to make good decisions and move forward and manage adversities in our life. It would become a part of curriculum if schools chose to do that. With mentoring from a company that is skilled in offering this service. So I think both of those are very hopeful that we are beginning to provide some education to the kids themselves about how to accept responsibility for their own emotions and how to manage those in an appropriate way.
That's a really good idea. To get in the schools.
It was so exciting.
Mhm.
I was just I thought, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's the good news from yesterday. The other conversation that you might be interested in, maybe you've already been a part of at ISAC with the Board of Supervisors affiliate, but is the ongoing conversation about what's an acceptable and doable percentage of fund balance at the end of the fiscal year going into the next fiscal year. So if you remember, by June 30th of 2023, we as a region are to have our fund balance at 5% of our expenses. This past year, it was 20%.
Did you say 5?
And where are we at now?
The
Well,
previous years was 45, is that right? Or
it started out at
40?
40, then went to 20, I think, or 25.
I
And
thought it
now,
went back up for 1 year for a bit, no?
no, there was
No.
always conversation about it. Last year, there was a lot of conversation, well, earlier this year at the legislative session, but no action was taken to change the June 30th, 2023. So it sounded like, and Jack, you can certainly clarify this. It sounded like Jim Irwin was talking about it, and he had had some conversations up here with ISAC's Board of Supervisors affiliate. And he was thinking that they were going to be recommending 15%. The Mental Health Disability Services Commission is looking at recommending 18%.
And Lori's going to contact all of the regions in the state to see what their recommendation was and what their ending fund balances were. And some of them were like 17 to 18%. And to see if we can't get the legislators to make some changes with that, because right now there's no way in hell that we can get ours to 5% or even 10%.
And then the ongoing concern is cash flow the first month or two. Now, David Farmer also said he thought 15% was a reasonable place to stop. Ken Beck, the board chair, and he is out of Scott County, he had indicated that he understood ISAC was going to be recommending 10%, but Jim had some
I
reason.
think we moved that up to 15.
That's what Jim was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you did move it to 15. The concern, I think, is to get all the interested entities on the same page with recommending to legislature the same percentage.
Yeah, we can't have some groups saying 20, some saying 10, some saying 5, some saying
Right.
15. So if we can get a consensus and all shoot the same figure to the legislators, maybe we might have a chance.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. And you guys will be involved in those conversations at the state level. Those, I would say, are probably the highlights of the meeting that we were in attendance for. Is there anything else, Jack, that you knew that was going to be discussed or that had been discussed that I missed?
I know there's a real shortage, but are we comparable with starting wages for these positions?
I think the
Oh,
agencies
yeah.
as a whole have increased their wages to be competitive.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that's always a good question, but I don't think it's necessarily wage driven anymore as much as maybe it used to be. You know, a lot of these positions are for services that are on call. They need to be available 24/7 on some kind of a schedule. And the willingness of people to work evenings and weekends or on call and be called in at a moment's notice and expected to be there in a short time period. I think those are some of the challenges. And then, you know, admittedly, these programs are dealing with some of the most difficult situations. And so, yeah, it's a combination of things, I think, besides just wages. That's all I have. Anything else that you can think of?
No, I think that pretty much summarizes what we had at both of our meetings
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. Mhm. Okay, I'll be
Well,
back in a month.
you know, as long as you can, if you had any chance of moving along the child program, I think it's pretty obvious in the school system that something needs to be addressed. So-
Currently, Mike, you might be interested, it is in Bellevue.
Yeah.
This
Programs,
program is in Bellevue.
And I had asked a Bellevue teacher that I know, she has since left the district this school year, but she's been there for several years. This challenge to change, learning to train children how to manage their emotions. She was very favorable on it. She said it was very, very helpful to kids and she could see the kids progress through the years. You know, and I said, well, is it disruptive to your teaching time during your school day? And she said, no, not at all. You know, because it's really not a large period of time in the classroom once the students are given the skills on how to relax.
Well, basically what they said, it was about a half-hour time frame, and they could have somebody there in person that they would train to do this, or they also have it virtually. They have somebody that's on staff from, I can't think of what it's called, but anyway, they would have somebody that would be on the video that would work with them, and so they wouldn't have
Actually
to
like a
have,
Zoom meeting. as
Yeah,
opposed to just
it
being-
would not. it
And
would
that's
work.
to train the kids themselves on the tools and the teachers, because once that training is done, the teacher has the knowledge to be able to just have this be a part of their day without having to have somebody come in. And I think that's where it gets shortened from that half an hour during the training period down to, can be 5 minutes of helping the kids, you know, calm after recess, for example, that kind of thing.
I think that's great.
So.
But
Needs to be
her
out there.
hope is, and after we approved it yesterday, from October to December will be teacher training offered to the staff within the region. And January to April is school programming in schools within the region. April to June is accumulation of live assemblies in schools with C2C, and Gary Mativier would be, he's writing a children's book, and they will be using that as part of the program. And October to June, program provided with facilities, within the facilities. And she will keep us abreast as how things are moving on. And so, but the thing that we were excited about, it'll be in all 127 schools in the Eastern Iowa Mental Health Region.
All the schools will have the opportunity to take advantage of the offering.
They'll either,
Initially at no cost to them. Now, what they choose to do, that's all we can do is offer it to them.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, you know, Christine Grader, the Children's Care Coordinator for the region, she continues to just really accomplish a lot. And she is coordinating her efforts with the schools with a staff person for AEA. I guess I want to be clear about that.
yes, AEA is a part of it.
They're a part of a lot of these conversations. So, and Christine has brought a lot of training in, not just for schools and school age children, but also for adults and human service agencies that serve adults on just the whole informed trauma and informed care concept and what really that could mean to people and how they respond to their living.
And I guess the fortunate part is, because of our ending fund balance, we did have the funds to be able to provide this. And it's $382,800 for them to make this available to all of the schools.
And they were told that if they exceed their expectations of what they need to offer, they should come back to the board.
Yes,
The board
because there would be,
consider.
we would
Yeah,
be.
it's still a drop in the bucket compared to the balance.
And,
Right.
and right now Dubuque is paying theirs, and Bellevue is paying for theirs, and Davenport School Systems is paying for those. And this amount would take the expense away from the school and put it on the mental health region.
And the other curriculum that was geared toward the 11th graders called Trauma and Society was $66,770. And again, that's a lot for the mentoring and the training of not so much educating the students, but also training the teachers so that the schools internally have the resources to continue with this kind of curriculum. So.
But I'll tell you, it sounds wonderful.
You know what ages you're actually working with right now?
The challenge to change the 300,000. I know in Bellevue, they were working with the elementary schools.
Right.
Yep. And I'm not
Elementary
sure-
on up.
On up, yes.
To-
Mhm. So I can't answer that for sure and make sure I'm correct in what ages. Same thing in Davenport, but I agree with Jack. I think they're in all the levels. They're in elementary, middle school, and high school, I believe, in Davenport.
Okay.
So.
But the trauma in society is for high school students, and they thought probably the junior year. And I don't know, I said, I think you should have it for seniors too, because those that are going on to college, you know, they're facing a lot of changes in their lives. And but I think it's going to be a great program.
So we'll keep you posted.
So it was brought up at our schooling out there, West Des Moines schools. They have kids that have problems, which that, and it happens here too, where they have to bus into like Davenport or something like that.
Mhm.
And that's coming out of the school budget. Why
Mhm.
can't we pick up on, I mean, out of this fund? Why can't, that's mental health stuff.
Well, it may be mental health, but it could also be other situations. Behavioral disorders are not automatically also co-occurring with a mental health diagnosis. It depends on the diagnosis. And I think the thing we need to remember is with these dollars and the task that the regions have been given is, yes, we are now responsible for children's mental health. We are responsible for children's mental health in the area of prevention, education, awareness, and intervention for all ages. We are responsible as a region, all regions are responsible for payment of services only in those situations where a child has a significant mental health diagnosis considered a serious emotional disturbance. And so that's a little bit confusing that there's an assumption that anything related to mental health, or it appears it might be associated with mental health, is now the responsibility of the region, and that is not quite the situation. The region's responsibility is more in the training and education aspect of it, and trying to help people understand mental health and children understand their own mental health. The actual funding for services is for a much smaller population of individuals under the age of 18.
There appears to be a fine line between behavioral disorder and mental health.
I'll let you have that conversation with psychiatrists and psychologists and therapists. Yeah. Yeah, that's a conversation for people that are more skilled academically and
Well,
diagnostics.
the people that are working with these individuals need to be included in this conversation. A lot.
The people meaning from the school systems or
Yes.
from the provider.
Both.
And I guess that's why I mentioned that about AEA. I don't want anybody to leave this meeting, and on behalf of the entire region, Christine, in her role, is working with AEA. And also she met with all the supervisors of the school district at an AEA meeting last week it was. Next Monday, for example, she's coming in. I'm just kind of tagging along, but she'll be meeting with the administrators from the Macokota School District. She makes herself available to have those meetings, and anybody who's ever heard Christine talk, she is a licensed clinician by training, and she has years of experience, both in providing services and doing things administratively, so.
But
she's
the
working-
AEA is at the table.
Yeah,
I mean, they have a
yeah.
representative that represents the school systems in Rome. And he's going to continue on. At least he's changed jobs, but he's still involved with the teaching profession. So really capable individual.
Oh, he
So,
is too, he's very
yeah,
astute.
so I was glad when he said he would stay on.
Yeah.
So
And Christine also works with agencies that provide services to children. She has a history of having been employed at Family Resources in a variety of capacities, including from being a direct care worker, clinician, to being the administrator. She's familiar with all of the people with the different agencies. So, I mean, we have somebody who already had established relationships before she came into that position with providers and then knowledge of school systems and how they work. So we're pretty lucky to have her with her background
absolutely.
compared to some other regions. Some other regions would have myself, my position in that role. And I can tell you right now, I could never hold a candle to what Christine has accomplished.
So I guess what that is.
She doesn't even need notes.
Yeah. You personally have contact with the elementary and they'll do that too, with what's the program or what's available, or like you said, we've made an offer to them and they have it. Do you personally yourself talk with the administrator side of it? No.
No, that's not really the role of the coordinator of disability
Right.
services.
Yeah.
That's why we have Christine in the position, and that's why we contract with these agencies. This agency called Challenge to Change. They're the ones that were indicated to us yesterday that they were ready to be boots on the ground today, making contact with all the schools. So that the contact with the schools is coming from the people trained in those specific areas. So they have the expertise. So the connection is being made with the schools, but not necessarily by someone like myself. that make sense?
Thanks.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
Excellent.
Yep.
Um, Lynn?
Yeah.
Would you check with Lori how their discussion number 11 went yesterday?
Oh, yes, I will. And I'll
Thank
get back to you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Is there any other business to come before our meeting today, other than our pie?
Is that 12:45?
Hmm?
Yes.
12:45.
That's what it
12:45
says.
to 1:15.
Okay.
I figured everybody would leave for lunch and then come back to eat pie, so
Hey, pie.
Is it really pie?
they
Yeah.
said they're bringing pie.
No other business, I'd make a motion to adjourn.
I would second. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
I will tell you, I didn't have to go to Cherokee last week.
So I've seen that.
I got a call from Luann on,
Last minute, yeah.
I was just getting ready, I had my car